most reliable evidence that we can have about these vaccines, predicted that if you're going to launch these vaccines and give them broadly to the entire population, which was give and take was represented in the clinical trials, you're going to see more harm than benefits. Now, fast forward, when we look on the population level data that we have in terms of excess mortality, we have an increased excess mortality both in 2021 more than 2020, and in 2020 there's nothing that can explain that other than to think about what are the new things that were added to the picture, and associating these excess mortality to the COVID-19 infection of the virus, it doesn't really stand the test of common sense, because we know that the virus became more infectious but much less virulent over time. The Omicron essentially has a very, very low mortality rate. We know that presumably we all got vaccinated, or most of the population got vaccinated. So how can we explain that in spite of that we have observed something else? And I think that unfortunately health authorities do not analyze, or are not willing to release even the data that will allow us to analyze what is causing that. But clearly the vaccine is one of the more obvious hypotheses. Now, when I think about these vaccines and I think about what was the overall safety premise that they relied on, right? It was relying on the fact that we assume that when you get this mRNA that has the code that train your cells to produce the spike, the injection site, and will clear from the body very quickly. We know now from multiple evidence that that's not going to happen all the time, and that in many cases both the mRNA, the lipids, and even the spike are found in the blood, and they are found in the skin, and they're found in lymph nodes. How long? So how long after? How long? We know that even for 40 days or 2 months, but nobody has any indication for how long. We know that it's at least a few months. It could be at least a few months, but who knows? The safety concept of these vaccines has collapsed. Right. Now, it's worse than that. There are specific mechanisms that we already know are happening in front of our eyes. So myocarditis is one of them. We know, and nobody debates that now, right? It's all health authorities are saying explicitly, these vaccines can cause myocarditis. This is an inflammation of the heart. We still don't know what the mechanism is. But when you actually read on myocarditis, and this is not my condition, that can often show up in a very vague manner, or even with no symptoms. This is called subclinical myocarditis. This is a concern because you have to remember that all the cases that, on top of all the cases that you diagnose clinically, you might actually have many more cases that are happening without diagnosis because they are very vague. In fact, this is a concern that the FDA had. The FDA required Pfizer and Moderna to do post-marketing studies on the rates of subclinical myocarditis among children and young people. The results were supposed to be reported this February, and the FDA just granted Pfizer and Moderna 6 more months to report the results. But there are two studies, one from Thailand and one from Switzerland, in which they tested people before and after they received the vaccine. And what they found is a striking rate of people that showed very bad cardiovascular indicators, including elevated troponin, which is the primary indicator of damage to the heart muscle. And one of the indicators, not the rates that they see there are 1 in 30, 1 in 50. That's not a mistake. That's 1 in 30, 1 in 50. Wow. 60 times more than the clinical rates that we now talk about when we talk about myocarditis. People talk about 1 in 10,000, 1,500, depending on what study you look at. They're talking about something that is 50 times more frequent. And, you know, this is not the first time that this is happening. In 2015, the American military, the U.S. military, did a study on the smallpox vaccine that also had myocarditis as a side effect. And they found exactly the same pattern, that the clinical rates were grossly underestimating the prevalence of the condition, and they found, again, 60-fold more cases that were subclinical, and that was the reason why this vaccine was taken out of the vaccination program of the U.S. among young people, especially among young people.
I want to get to that in a second. Can I just go back to something you just said?
Sure.
Sorry, you just said about smallpox. So as part of the normal, because I have friends in the military, many friends in the military who they talk about being pincushions. They're like, oh, I've had everything. I've had anthrax shots. I've had every time we go, marine pilots, you name it, who told me what they have been injected with. So you're telling me they stopped the smallpox program because of the high problems of myocarditis and continued these emergency use authorized shots that are causing it at a much higher level than
mandated. And actually mandated. And by the way, in the same experiment, the U.S. military, this is actually published paper, they also tested as a control the flu vaccine, and they didn't see any myocarditis because of the flu vaccine. So this is not something you see. This is something very rare that you don't see in all vaccines. This is something you see in vaccines that are probably not that good. Now,
and that's why we say on the show we're not anti-vaccine. We're anti-this, right? This is what we're talking about, what you're specifically analyzing here. So, and I didn't mean to interrupt you earlier, but I really want to hear what you're talking about as far as young people now. So how is this affecting young people, and why is it affecting them differently? Do we know?
So nobody knows that you can have different hypotheses, maybe because their immune system is stronger, and that can more easily bring up autoimmune reactions. It could be because they may be more muscular, especially in males, and that maybe lead more to a higher likelihood that the injection or the spike will or the mRNA will get into the bloodstream during the injection of the vaccine dose. But we don't know, and in fact, we don't invest. We don't invest enough because there is so much suppression about even admitting that there is a problem. I don't think we invest enough in studies to understand what's going on here, right? Now, back to the issue of sudden death, because I do see, again, at the population level, indications of increased cardiac arrest and sudden death out of the hospital. In the UK, there is a major increase in out of the hospital deaths, and I've been doing a study on the National Israel EMS calls. When we looked on the cardiac arrest diagnosis calls that
were coming into like we
two and a half years, from 2019 through the mid of 2021 in Israel.
These are calls that would come in Israel like their 911 service in the United States.
It's a national service. It's a national service like the EMS service, but it's a national, so you get all the calls. So in the US, you will have to go city by city, state by state. It's all centralized, so it's easier to analyze. And what we see there, we see a 25% increase at the beginning of 2021 compared to the previous years among people at the ages 16 to 39. So that's a major increase, and it's actually temporarily correlated with the number of vaccine doses that are given. And I want to be very, very cautious here. I'm not saying that finding by itself is a proof that the vaccine is causing that. Potentially there are multiple reasons or causes, and we indeed asked the Ministry of Health in Israel to investigate that and sort of really try to understand at the individual level what is happening. They kind of dismissed that, and they claimed that the EMS service in Israel doesn't know how to diagnose cardiac arrest, which is kind of striking. Usually you have to resuscitate someone. And indeed, in 2021, there were 27% more resuscitations in Israel compared to 2019. So these are striking population level data that really tells you that something wrong is going on.
And that's specifically in a younger population. These resuscitations are younger people.
The resuscitation is all over the population, but the cardiac arrest calls were specifically, the increase was specifically to the 16 to 39 age group. Now, to complement this picture, we know from autopsies after deaths of people that died shortly after vaccination, and this is a study, there is a relatively large study from Germany, but also more anecdotal studies from different parts of the world where when they did the autopsy, they see a clear indication that the death was caused by vaccine-induced cause myocarditis and inflammation of the heart. And it's a known mechanism. The point I'm trying to make here, this is not just about one piece of data, another piece of data. This is about a complete picture that all adds up to an understanding that the safety concept of these vaccines has collapsed. And we have more than one evidence that something really bad is happening. We have population level data. I didn't even think about some disability data that we see. And myocarditis is just one mechanism, but we're starting to see a range of mechanisms by which these vaccines are causing harm, especially to young people.
Right.
And at this point, this is, you can argue now, what is the frequency of that, right? That's an open question, but I would argue that this is beyond any threshold to stop these vaccinations because the harm is just not acceptable. And especially given the fact that the risk for this population from the COVID-19 virus is minimal to zero. And
you talk about the safety.
What I want to say about the efficacy is that even the efficacy concept collapsed. We were told that these vaccines would be updated very quickly to catch up with the variants that are evolving. That doesn't happen as well. So what is left? My question, what is left now from all the promise of these vaccines? I think it's fair to say that this is really one of the colossal failures in the history of medical products. And what is strange is that it's the most profitable product in the history of medical products. And that's kind of a contradiction that is very, very hard to grapple with.
That's amazing. I mean, there's many things that you've said over the past few minutes that are just blowing my mind. But this idea that this is the most profitable, perhaps in the history of medical medications, while at the same time being one of the greatest colossal failures. You're an MIT professor, an expert on drug safety. Did Pfizer and Moderna follow proper safety protocols before releasing these drugs?
I think that this is still unfolding to understand what exactly happened during these trials. As you know, there was an attempt to keep the documents concealed for 75 years. Luckily, court order is allowing us slowly sort of look on and study what was the process. I think that by now a few things are clear. This was by no means the regular process that we have to approve vaccines or drugs. In fact, I think that it's fair to say that senior leaders in the FDA have resigned because of that, and some recent internal documents from the FDA really show explicitly that many of them expressed concern that this is expedited to the extent that does not allow to have a proper review. I also think that there is a growing evidence that there were many shortcuts and things that are just simply not acceptable, including around the manufacturing process of these vaccines. So one of the things that people have to understand is that when you approve a vaccine or a drug, it's not just the drug that's being approved, it's the entire production process, because you have to ensure that you are able to consistently and reliably and safely produce this product again and again and again and meet the demand. Now, in this case, you can imagine that the demand is the entire globe, right? And I think that the picture that is emerging is that there were major flaws on that dimension as well, and things that were in all other times were not acceptable at all. And that could also explain some of the harm that we see from these vaccines. So again, the mechanisms by which these vaccines can cause harm could be related to the very basic concept of the safety concept of these vaccines, but also could be related to not having a consistent manufacturing process that you could actually execute reliably. And everybody in this area will agree that's a major area of concern when you think about manufacturing process and how stable it is. And you have to be even more concerned when you have to go from zero to a scale of billions, right? You have to be more concerned. I don't think that we had the regular supervision or the regular rigorous analysis, and I'm going to cautiously say that there is more to come, and we might find out that there were maybe things that are completely not okay that were going on in that respect as well.
We have a separate interview bombshell new report says the U.S.
Oh shit, we do have
government is
it. We
actively
do have the mic
tracking
on.
the movements of unvaccinated Americans using a secret surveillance program set up by the CDC. So whatever reason they decided to never get vaccinated, or you decided to just get one shot instead of the recommended 2+ booster program, the government decides to track you. The story comes to us from the National File, and the reporter who broke the story is Patrick Halley, and he joins me now. Patrick, thanks for coming on the show.
Hayden, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So when did you first learn that the government was tracking unvaccinated people?
Well, this was information that came off of a password-protected government website, and we obtained this information legally, of course. And this is in the journalistic interest for people to know about. I think it's very important when you hear this tape of this guy, Dr. David Berglund, who works for a government committee that handles these ICD-10 codes. The ICD-10 program was created by the World Health Organization, the WHO, and they deputized the CDC to maintain this program because the CDC apparently is a subsidiary of the World Health Organization, because apparently America is a strip mall labor colony with no sovereignty. So this guy, Dr. David Berglund, was talking about how they're going to put these new insurance billing codes in place, these new ICD-10-CM codes, specifically to track unvaccinated people, to track people who haven't had all their boosters, haven't had all their clot shots, haven't had all their genocide needles. And when you hear his voice on this tape, you hear very clearly that it's about tracking people. And so it's a horrifying thing. And we know that they perceive the unvaccinated purebloods as being their mortal enemies. So this is something that obviously is in the public interest for people to know about.
So we've heard from nurses who confirm the story that in fact that they're logging into patient area on the computer. They'll often get like some sort of a special alert or a designation basically saying, hey, watch out for this patient, he didn't get his vaccine. So how are they being tagged and cataloged by the CDC? And what sort of alerts are popping up on the screen when someone checks a patient into a clinic?
So we're hearing a lot about this from whistleblowers in the medical industry now, which is an amazing thing. When you have a viral story, a lot of people come out of the woodwork. And the thing is, these ICD-10-CM codes, and that happens to be the exact category for unvaccinated, partially vaccinated, and they have another category for some other kind of under-vaccinated, under-immune, inoculated status. These ICD-10-CM codes can be tracked by the CDC. They're used by the CDC for tracking purposes. So essentially, the CDC is privy to this information. We know that. And we know that obviously, this is something that insurance companies are going to be looking at. And, we're going to learn more and more as this goes along about exactly how this is being tracked. And we're still awaiting a formal response from the CDC, but we know that people in the globalist establishment are very concerned about this story.
Yeah, well, I hope so. They better be. And the idea that I think the real nefarious thing here, the thing that of course concerns me, concerns probably our audience, is the idea of what will this tracking be used for? And they will initially tell us that it's going to be for positive purposes, right? We will be able to stop the spread. But of course, our mind goes to all sorts of different places. Well, I'm not able to travel. You're going to withhold. I might not be able to get a mortgage on my house because of a certain status that the government has access to. Who else has access to these databases, right? Is this tied to your FICO score, right? Is this tied to any sort of financial score that I might have? How do we know? We didn't even know about this database. So do we know how this stuff might be used? Are you getting a sense of where this database lives and how it might be shared among other government agencies?
The CDC is probably the most nefarious government agency when it comes to actually trying to figure out where unvaccinated people are. The CDC actually hosts the Joe Biden vaccine hesitancy map, where they used U.S. Census data to go county by county to figure out where the highest concentration of unvaccinated people are, specifically so that left-wing activists led by Kamala Harris could go and try to convince them to get the jab. Now, we know, with all these people dying suddenly, that it's actually the people who took the injection, not to mention all the boosters who are getting sick, will put their immune system on a subscription service who are dying suddenly from blood clotting, myocarditis, heart attacks, and strokes. And so it's really the unvaccinated people who are the healthy people, but that's who the government wants to track because they perceive us to be the enemy in this globalist program where they really are carrying out a genocide against us.
Are hospitals and doctors' offices being forced to take part in this?
Oh yes, the doctors are required to use ICD-10 codes, and the notes that doctors have to take in a one-on-one appointment with a patient in order to figure out what the ICD-10 code is going to be, extremely detailed information. So the doctors are actually required to use the ICD-10 codes.
Wow. Has the CDC admitted to this? I know you said you have a message into them. Have they given any indication that this exists other than what you're hearing from whistleblowers and from people who've leaked this information?
It is now a matter of public record that these codes are being used. In terms of this bombshell audio that we have talking about tracking people, we are still awaiting a statement from the CDC, and we know that the wheels are spinning in terms of globalists trying to come out of the woodwork and try to discredit this, but they can't discredit this story. The story is the truth, and it's something people need to know about.
If I, as an American citizen, wanted to call up the CDC and tell them to expunge this data from their website, from their database, would I be allowed to do that?
You would have to ask them. I think probably not, based on the precedent that they've set. And in fact, the globalists even make the argument that ICD-10 codes are not protected health information under HIPAA. You know, a lot of people are saying, can I make a HIPAA case out of this? I would argue, yes, you can. However, the argument is that the codes themselves are not protected information under HIPAA.
Could the government use your vaccine status against you?
I believe so, yes. I believe that's exactly what they're doing.
And in what way are they using it against you? Are we seeing, specifically on the insurance side, are we seeing, I guess my question is, how exactly are they using it? If you've gotten one shot, you didn't get the full two, you didn't get the booster, are you on some sort of a different classification scale? Like you're not as much of a citizen? You know, you're 3/4 of a person because you didn't get the full dosage of vaccine status with the federal government?
Well, on this audio that we've obtained, they make it clear that they consider the unvaccinated to be a public health risk, and they made it clear that even if you have an adverse reaction to a past vaccine, and I would argue, because I've been a long-time anti-vaxxer, a long-time fan of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., I would argue you have to look into the link between all that, the MMR, measles, mumps, rubella, and autism, for instance, and all of these people on the Asperger's syndrome. I've been on that wave for years. But with this coronavirus pandemic specifically, even if you have an adverse reaction to the first injection, if you don't keep getting the boosters, if you're not fully inoculated, they're still going to mark you down in one of these categories as partially or fully unvaccinated. And so this is a concerning thing, and it's a thing that, everybody is going to have to interact with now when they go to the doctor or when they go to the hospital, because as I said, doctors are required to use these codes.
Unbelievable. Well, Patrick, thank you for this amazing story. Thank you for your journalism and your work on this. I hope you'll come back again. And please keep us updated on this story.
Anytime, sir.
Thank you so much for watching this segment here at Redacted. We are live every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, trying to share the stories that the mainstream media will not cover. You should also come over and join our community of Redacted Rebels over at redacted.inc. That's our private Rebels community where we can share exclusive content that we simply cannot share here on YouTube. Come over and join the rebellion together right now by going to redacted.inc. We'll see you next time.
Come back here, chicken. Nah, son. What the kind of fucking chicken is that, yo? No, my chicken.
You chose his mama. Oh, sorry, baby. Oh, my baby chose his mother. You haven't pooped, nasty. You got that doodle butt.
Ah.